All right, let me
Oh,
record. Okay, go ahead.
hi everybody. This is Tawan from Money Travel Grow. Also, the curator of the Facebook group Digital Marketing Career Starter. Today, I have a special guest. Some of you may know who he is. Some of you may not know if you're new to this platform. This is Raj. Raj was one of my first digital marketing students, and sort of this is a follow up to uh, what life is like for him now after being in my coaching program and also finding some success in digital marketing. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and take it away, Rod. Tell us who you are and what you're doing these days.
Absolutely. Well, hey everybody. My name is Raj. So I'm back. Like Twan said, I was one of his first students. So pretty much since taking the course and just having his coaching program, I've worked at an agency. Now I'm currently working in house at a tech startup company. So I do search engine optimization. So for those that you guys that don't really know that part of digital marketing, that's more about creating web pages and making websites, easy to navigate and, making it to where the information is easy to find so that, it shows up higher on search results on Google. And the reason why like businesses, they want, somebody who does that type of work is because, the traffic is basically free. It's organic, but more so it helps them lower the cost of, running more paid advertising, like, paid ads like Google ads and Facebook. So, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Like I said, I've been working at an agency. Now I'm at a company. Now I'm currently doing freelancing work now. So, I've been pretty much doing the whole shebang. So it's been pretty cool.
That. Give us the origin story. Tell them how we kind of met and tell us a little bit about
Oh,
what life was like before you were in this space.
yeah. Oh man. So man, it was so crazy. So before I got into digital marketing, I was really into big doing like t-shirts online. So, I like to design different t-shirts and I had like my own YouTube channel at the time. I was like bartending and all that stuff. And, I just decided I wanted to start, making t-shirts online, making some money and so the first couple shirts I sold, they didn't really do too well, but I was like, nah, like I'm gonna make this work. So, I ended up just growing a whole channel and growing a whole, online presence. So, naturally, I had a channel where, I was showing people how to do print on demand and, how to make t-shirts and stuff. And, Tawan naturally, he stumbled across my channel. He reached out to me and it was just kind of funny how like we just got to talking and he mentioned that he does digital marketing. And I remember being like, digital marketing, like, what is that? Like, I don't know what that is. Like, I've never heard of it before. Like, I was always kind of like somewhat in the mix. It's just I really didn't know that like part of the field. So, I
And
just
we say that, let's be clear, we say that he's obviously he was a digital marketer, so that's not what he
yeah,
means. He means that he didn't know that you could actually be employed as a digital
yeah,
marketer
yeah, yeah. That's what I mean.
and
Yeah.
make money. Also, I want you to point out too, what was your actual profession? Because you was doing this on the side, which you just told us about the
Yeah,
t-shirt.
yeah,
So what
yeah.
were you doing on the day?
Yeah, I was a school teacher. Like, I was like, man, getting up at like 7 a.m., drinking as much coffee as you can drink and, working in the classroom. I was a third grade school teacher. I mean, yeah, I lived out the typical American dream, the whole, I went to high school, I went to college, I got the degree, I worked in the profession, but I think like a lot of people I kind of had that moment where I'm like, this isn't life.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So,
but
so in other words, you weren't really happy with being a teacher.
yeah, I mean, like, I enjoyed like, working with the students and, just connecting with them and just making a difference. But, for me, it was just, the politics and just the, you know, not really being able to, I guess, you're not really rewarded for being creative so much. Like nobody rewards you for figuring out how to do things easier in those types of jobs. Like if anything, you're punished for. So yeah, nah.
Well, it's unfortunate that our education system is the way that it is. But for me, one of the reasons why, I decided to do this because I wanted to give people a level of freedom. Most of the people I come across will always say, I love traveling. I love, having time to really self-develop. And I think that digital marketing gives you that opportunity if it's done right. Now, some people out there, they work in office. Okay. And that's fine. I mean, me personally, I've never had this is my third digital marketing position. I've never had an in-office position. Every position I've worked has been remote. And I'm currently seeking another opportunity on job search right now. And I can tell you, there are still plenty of opportunities out there for remote work. It's just more competitive than what it was 2 years ago, a year ago, things like that. So I think it's suffice to say that this is one of the best decisions you made in your life, correct?
Yeah. I mean, just even what you was saying, like just about having that time to like recharge. And I think that's so like, with inflation and $10 eggs and all that's going on. Like, no, it ain't got that bad. Let's hope it ain't get it.
I know somebody's paying $8 a dozen right now. I know somebody paying $8 a dozen.
They bad, but with all that going on, I agree. Like, just having that time, like, and I like you were saying, like, it's fully remote. So like same, like both my positions, like the current one I'm working, I work as a manager currently. So I still work remote, no office, no none of that stuff. And it definitely does make a difference because you got time to do things that you never had time to do. Even me, like just being able to like travel, like, I was one of the people, I didn't really travel like that, just being able to go like to simple places and, get a hotel for the weekend and, just cool it somewhere. Like that was something I was not able to do as a teacher, financially and just physically, like time wise and energy wise. So,
So even if you made the money, you might not have had the time to go.
Like that's the thing about digital marketing is that, you not only have access to, more resources, but you also have access to the best resource, and that is your time. Like you're able to use your time more. Like, don't get it messed up. Like you're not sitting around doing nothing all day or nothing like that. Is your time is more flexible to where you can say I want to get up and go to Starbucks and grab a coffee real quick. I can do that without worrying about my boss being like, hey, what are you doing? Like, where are you going? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everything, like you meet with people through like they have this channel called Slack. You can do like Microsoft Teams. Like, it's so different. Like even just as something as, getting up and going to the bathroom. Like I remember being a teacher where like I damn near had to beg somebody to watch my class so I could use the bathroom. Like, digital marketing is not like that. If I have something that, like, in other words, you're allowed for life to happen to you in a field like this. And, life does. It happens to everybody. So, it is.
I can tell you. So let's give a little bit more details and perspective in this to talk about really the benefits, because that's one of the things I want to drive home. A lot of people may be like, well, I don't know if I really want to invest my money, my time, my energy to becoming a digital marketer. And see, for me, it's one of the best things you can do.
Yeah.
Because again, from my perspective, and by the way, I wanted to go into the teaching profession myself a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I realized it wasn't something that was going to be for me because of my experience I had with student teaching. I realized that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Now, that's not to say that teaching isn't a great opportunity for some people, because some people love teaching, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't for me. So I want to be clear about that. I'm not saying, F them kids and don't become a teacher. I'm not saying that, because we need people who are passionate about teaching. But we also need people to be respected as professionals.
Yeah.
And I think when I look at my digital marketing career so far, I've been very respected. For one, let's talk about the PTO, the paid time off.
Yeah.
Most companies will give you a generous paid time off compensation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
True, yeah.
So you don't have to, back in the day, I remember I worked at McDonald's and I had to take off. I had to
Yeah.
So I sent him like an email and say, look, I'm not coming in today. and I'm not feeling well, or I'm taking a mental health day, and they completely understand. Because this work is at times mentally challenging. You
It
do
is.
need
It
some
can.
time to recharge. You get most of your holidays. The company I worked for prior to what I'm working for now, we had unlimited PTO.
Yeah.
And what that meant was, as long as they had coverage, I could take as much time off if I wanted to. Now, don't get crazy with it. Don't take off 30 days in a year, you know, but you do have an opportunity to
Yeah.
take time off. And most of the time, I would take like a Monday off because I don't like working on Mondays. So there's a lot of flexibility there. Of course, you get full benefits, and most companies are going to do that for you. And I say all this to basically say, the job market has become really competitive, and because of that, it's taking people maybe a longer time to get a job now. You know, whereas it may have only taken you 3 or 4 months before. Now it may take you 6 months. But I want to stress this point that, so what if it takes you 6 months? So what if it takes you a year? It's worth having. Okay.
I agree.
What I'm always amazed about is, as people ask me questions on my coaching program and other things, man, how much is it going to cost? You will gladly go to a university and take 4 years or 6 years with a master's degree or even medical school just to make some of the money that you make as a digital marketer coming off the rip. Most of these jobs don't even want you. I'm sorry, let me correct myself. Most of these jobs don't necessarily require you to have a college degree.
Yeah.
They just want you to have some form of experience to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a degree in digital marketing. Matter of fact, digital marketing wasn't even really a thing when I went to school.
Yeah.
I graduated in 2006, so it wasn't even a thing back then. It was just starting to bud into Facebook and things like that. LinkedIn wasn't around. The world was a very different place in 2006. So I don't have the traditional educational background to be in digital marketing. However, after taking a couple of courses and really developing my skills, I was able to do it. So most of us are self-taught, right?
Yeah.
Most of us are self-taught as digital marketing. Tell me the benefit, though, of having a coach.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the great thing about having a coach is, I think, really what's that word called? Reliability portion, where you have somebody who's going to tell you, you know, what to focus on, but you're also going to have somebody to direct your thinking. I think also, you know, one thing that can happen when, you know, like you were saying, like how it has changed, where the market has shifted to where, you know, it is taking a bit longer. And I think, you know, as human beings, you know, we all been through that, where you go through that frustration of like, you know, everybody has been through that, where, you know, you're applying all these jobs, you know, you get that first rejection letter, you know, you're going to feel bad. You're going to need that bowl of ice cream. You're going to need, you know, kind of that time to yourself. It does, you know, make you feel like that. So I think having a coach and having somebody who can, you know, kind of get your mind back on track and, you know, help you kind of like see through the illusion. Like it's, you know, there's plenty of jobs out there. There's so many opportunities, and, you know, and it's helpful. And I think even, you know, when I was applying, one thing you helped me understand was that, you know, these companies, they could throw out your resume for all different reasons. You know, it could be something as simple as, you know, maybe your resume, you know, you put SEO at the top when you should have put search engine optimization. It could be all different reasons why somebody could, you know, throw out your resume. So I think having a coach, it does help you kind of see through that. I think it also helps you kind of just focus your skills too. I think, you know, like you were saying, like everybody in this field is pretty much self-taught, even myself. Like, you know, of course I've taken courses and certifications, but, you know, it's helpful when you have a coach who can tell you like, okay, no, focus on this, only focus on the stuff that actually matters in the field. Because you are, a lot of times we'll see when you're learning online and you don't have a coach, you might spend a lot of time learning a bunch of stuff that you may never even use. You may never even, you know, touch. So it is helpful to have somebody who's in the field who can give you that perspective and, you know, kind of help you kind of stay on track. So yeah, that's why I would recommend getting a coach.
Okay, so keeping up with that, do you think this is one of the best times to get into digital marketing?
Yeah, I mean, I think for anybody who's looking for something different, but I will also say it's also the best time for somebody who, this is you. Like if you're somebody who likes to socialize, talk to people in a sense and connect with other people. I get it. We live in 2023. Everybody's not all out and about, at the bars and meeting everybody all the time, but there's still a human interaction point. There is still, you got to get on camera, talk to people. You still have to have that, connection piece. So I think if that's somebody like you, I think this is a good time because that's one thing that's never going to change is, it doesn't matter how much inflation we have. Businesses are always going to need a way to market their products and services. They're always going to need, somebody who understands the more technical part. Because even if you do social media, there's still a level of, you got to know how to work the Facebook campaign manager. You got to know how to work Google Ads. Like, and they're adding new buttons and removing stuff every day. So,
And I think you're making a good point there. Let me jump in and say this, because if you're working with local business owners, okay, let's say you're working with lawyers or doctors, that's all they want to do. They don't really want to market.
No, they don't have time. Yeah, these guys are busy.
So if you're coming in and saying, you know what, I can offer you a solution, I can help you get more clients. Yeah, that's what they want. Even the big corporations want the same thing. No one really wants to do their own marketing. And I'm saying this as someone who was a business owner once upon a time ago. I didn't want to do my own marketing. I would greatly and willingly relinquish my marketing plans to someone else if they could bring me in business. The only thing at the time I cared about was going and making my speeches and coming home. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, count those checks. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the same thing applies to local business owners. They don't want to do the work themselves because it's complicated, right?
Yeah, no, it is.
Like you said, things are always changing. Yeah. Google's coming out with, different algorithms. Yeah. There's different, the rules of this game is always changing. And so they need someone who can basically stay on top of that. Mm-hmm. Just like same reason why people get maybe a personal trainer. They get a personal trainer because that person knows how to put your body in the best condition that it's ever been in, right? Yeah. There's a level of expertise that comes with it. So there's a level of expertise that comes with us being a digital marketer. And most people don't know the first thing about digital marketer. Yeah. Even people in these professions. So what I'm saying is this is a great time for you to become a digital marketer. It's a great time to change your career. It may take you a little bit longer than 6 months or a year, but that's okay. Once you get your foot in the door, you can expect to benefit from one, if it is a remote position, staying at home, spending more time with your family and friends, not worrying about a commute, because you was telling me off camera that you guys are about to get some snow in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. You don't worry about that. If you want to travel and go to, exotic places, a place you've never been, you can do that and work at the same time. As we're doing this interview, I'm currently in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, listen, the opportunities are definitely there. Mm-hmm. And even here in the Philippines, the cost of living is not even a quarter of a cost it is in the United States. So it's a lot better. I get more bang for my buck here by being in Southeast Asia. So, okay, so let's move on a little bit and talk about this emergence of artificial intelligence in the world right now. I want to get your thoughts real quick about artificial intelligence and how you use it in your profession.
Yeah, man. I was just talking about this with some SEO friends that are like freaking out, like, oh man, artificial intelligence, like, is that going to get rid of like content writing or our jobs and all that stuff? So honestly, I don't like, me personally, the way I really use AI is I really kind of use it in combination with myself. So one thing like I did, like when I'm like writing content for business owners and I'm like making, ads and stuff like that, I usually like use the AI to like write out, like I'll give it an idea and I'll have it pop out just a general idea, but then I go back and I reword it, I rework it, I add in a lot of that industry knowledge. So that's one thing, like, I'll say to you guys, like, if you use AI, like understand, like, you're still going to need that industry knowledge. You're going to need that product knowledge. So especially if you work for, you know, a corporation. Like me, I work for a company. So, you know, I have to understand how the product works. I have to understand the little nuances and things. And, you know, AI is not always going to be able to pick up those things. But, you know, more or less like me, I kind of use it in combination with what I'm already doing. Like I don't overly rely on it. Like I'm never going to write a whole blog post with just AI. Like I might have it give me like whatever headlines and, you know, titles I want to like focus on, but like I always go back and, you know, put my own thoughts and, you know, do it like that. So yeah.
Well, I think too, there as far as it taking our jobs away,
Yeah.
quote unquote, I think there's too many moving pieces in digital marketing.
Yeah,
There's too
no
many things
doubt.
that we have to do in order to make a campaign, SEO, these things where they rely heavily upon a human presence.
Yeah.
AI has not gotten that advanced enough to where it can do a complete job. It cannot take, let's say, a concept and then turn it into a whole full paid advertisement campaign that monitors it, that monitors it, optimize it. It's not ever going to do that. What it does, I believe, what it's great at doing is optimizing your time as
Yeah.
well
Yeah,
as
that's what I was. Yeah.
super boosting your skills. That's what it's really there for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't spend as much time as on copywriting as I used to. I
Yeah.
can spit into the system, right? And then it gives me something back. And like you said, I go in there, I make a few changes. Plus, at most of your jobs, you're gonna have someone looking over the
Yeah.
content. So you're not the
Exactly.
final
Yeah.
authority of the content. There's a
Yeah.
team that usually reviews and say, okay, this looks good, change this, change that, and we go from there. So it's a great tool to use, but it's not gonna be taking our jobs anytime
Yep.
soon. I
Yep.
think it just hasn't reached that level of advancement yet. But the good news is, I think as AI emerges, what's going to probably end up happening is, contrary to popular, we're probably going to have more jobs available
Yeah.
because now more work can get done.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's going to need for you to be still skilled enough to be able to get it done.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about. We talked about being competitive. Are there any? Let's see. Give me your best advice that you've gotten so far in digital marketing. Your best advice.
Yeah. Man. Probably the best advice I got in digital marketing, um, man, probably is to just take your time, you know, don't rush. I think, you know, when you're in like, cause me, I've been in like the food industry, I've worked restaurants, I've, you know, teaching, I've done, so I know all about the fast, you got to get stuff. Like digital marketing is not like that. It is really a career field where you get to take your time and really do things right. So, you know, that's one thing that advice I was given, especially when I was working at an agency. Like the director I was working for, you know, there was assignments where I was doing where, you know, I was kind of blowing through them. I was kind of like in a rush to get them done. And like, I remember him telling me like, no, like take your time. Like, you know, spend an extra hour, spend a couple extra hours on this if you need to. So, you know, really the best advice I ever got, just take your time, you know, do things right. And, you know, just don't feel like it like everything is a panic. Like it's not like that at all in digital marketing. It's very much like everything's structured. There's systems in place to make sure nothing gets messed up. Like it's so systemized. It's like you got time. So yeah.
Yeah, so take your time. That's really good advice. And one thing I forgot to ask you, going back into
Sure.
you transition to digital marketer, because one of the people, some people will go, "Hey man, but what about that pay though, man? How much you get
Oh
paid?"
yeah, the cheese. Okay,
Tell,
yeah, funny.
tell us,
Okay.
tell us your what you were, if you whatever you're comfortable with explaining, but tell people maybe how much you was making before and what you're making now and how
Yeah.
quickly it happened for you.
Yeah. So when I first started, I was only making 48. So it was actually a pay cut in comparison to what I was making as a teacher, like $1,000 or so. But so I
Mhm.
was making 48, and then like less than 6 months, I was able to double my salary to now I'm an SEO manager. So I make double that. So I'm making about 100K now. And then pretty much in less time than that, I was able to start racking up some freelancing gigs. So, I mean, I can't really give you a number on that, you
That's
know,
okay.
but just know like there's a lot of opportunity for you to be able to, once you have like something, stable, you can branch out and work with different clients and different businesses and, be able to, kind of get more specialty like that. Now, again, you're not doing these things all at the same time. Like you're working a full-time job, you're not doing these things coherently. Like, I just want to make that clear to everybody. This is stuff you would do part-time when you're not working, but again, you still have that flexibility where if you want to work a part-time job and do things on the side, you can do that.
Now, results may vary,
Yeah,
obviously, right?
yeah,
But I think there's something to be said about that because, coming from education, you got to get a master's or doctorate before you even
yeah,
see 100K a year, and here
yeah,
you just said, and everybody out here listening, he went from making 48,000 and in less than 6 months, he was making double that amount.
yeah,
Because what I can remember your story, okay, you're doing the teaching thing, you got your first digital marketing job within, I think, 60 to 90 days.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
you stayed there for, I think, about 6 months. You
yeah,
signed
yeah,
up
about
for
six, 7 months. Yeah,
and you went for like every SEO job that was out there,
yeah,
especially the management part. And you
yeah,
got it. Your credit.
yeah,
And you got
yeah,
it. So the fact that you double your income that quickly is sort of amazing. I'm
yeah.
not saying that everybody that does this is going to go in that direction, but it's a hell of a story
But there's
because
money. There's money to yeah.
who does that? Like I said, if you stay in education, what do you think you'd be doing right now if you were still in education?
Man, dude, if I was still in education, I would probably be somewhere trying to enjoy what's left of my Saturday with a glass of wine, hoping that that there's a snow day or a flood or something so I don't have to go to work. Like
Oh my God.
I would be oh man. You see my skin
So
look good. So I would not
yeah, well, again, I'll say for those of you who are aspiring to be teachers, I'm not saying don't be a teacher, but what I am saying for those of you who are looking to do something a little bit different
everybody
with
in
your
the company, man.
yeah, if you're looking for, a little bit more time freedom, a little bit more destination travel freedom, I think digital marketing is definitely the way to go. I really want to emphasize it because it changed my life in that way. So while we're wrapping up, because we got a little bit more time here, let's talk a little bit about career trajectory in digital marketing because, a lot of professions, like again, let's use in education, for example, you're not necessarily going to go from making 50,000 to 100,000 just like that. Usually it's going to require you to get more school, maybe a doctorate degree, maybe a master's degree, maybe some kind of specialization. And it's going to take some time. It's going to usually take more than 2 years. But in digital marketing, it's a little bit unique
Yeah.
how, again, in your case, you went from making less than 50,000 a year to 100,000 in like 6 months. Can you say more about that?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, honestly, so yeah, like I said, I started off at an agency, so I was just a specialist. So, I worked under a director, I had different team members, and I was just a typical employee. But one thing, I did was I of course was like, I want to get more for myself, and I also wanted to kind of test my skills. Like, I knew SEO a good bit, but I knew like, okay, I need to kind of really, showcase that. So, naturally, while I was talking to you about it, I was like, I wanted to, kind of take a swing at it. So I just end up, looking at different jobs on the market. I use those jobs to really kind of make a list of different skills that I wanted to pick up. So, when I do go back and apply to these jobs, I can, make sure my resume and, my interviewing skills match that. So, I just made a list of those things. I went about learning them. Once I learned it, I made sure they were on my resume. I made sure I talked about them and, I was able to get the job. Now, it wasn't easy. I had to, I would say it took just as many interviews. So, like when you guys apply to your first entry level job, it is about 20 to 30 interviews. I think all digital marketers can vouch for that. It was the same thing for getting the manager job. It was about the same amount, but I will say the questions were a bit more difficult. But again, like, if you know your stuff, then you should be good to go. So I guess my recommendation for anybody who wants to take that route, like you want to start off making maybe 42 or 48, and you want to start making 80 or 90, like just see what jobs are out there that you want to get, see what skills that they require, and go about learning them, because digital marketing is really the only career field where you can literally rack up the equivalent of a years worth of knowledge in maybe 4 to 5 or 6 months, where, like you were saying earlier, like in education, I would have to have a master's degree, doctorate, all those things to just even make 80K. So, and with enough debt to where is it even worth it? So, but yeah, but that was pretty much my approach for it. I just set out.
So let's get this straight. So you don't need to rack up a bunch of debt to make double the amount of money you make. You just need focus and discipline.
That's it, honestly. Yeah, just focus and discipline. For me, like I've always been somewhat of a focused guy. Like I've always been, in school, I was the kid where I was at least a B plus, A type student, but naturally when you get older, you start going through things in life, all those things, it's harder to have that same discipline. But, if you do get that back, if you do stay focused on that, then it is so easy to scale up. Like even something as simple as like Google Analytics. Like, I can't tell you how many people, are like, oh, well, that's a lot of work, but it's just something as simple as, you take a Saturday and sit for a quick little class, a free course at that, like free certification. That's the thing. Like 90% of the certification, probably 95, if not 97% of the certifications you can get in this field are free, or you just have to maybe sign up for a quick course and, sit through it. And, it's really just about discipline and dedication. Like, you got to set aside some time to learn some things. You might need a coach if you're somebody like we were talking about earlier. If you're somebody who you need somebody who can help you structure your time and stay focused, you might need that. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, you need some type of structure and discipline. Like you can't just, that's what I'm saying. It's not for everybody. Like if you're somebody who likes to, party around and not really stay focused, then this isn't really the field for you. It's like, of course we have fun. Like we play hard as much as we, work hard, but you do got to have that.
Well, there's a few things I want to touch on that you talked about. And one of those things is taking a Saturday and really focusing on learning a new skill.
Yeah.
They talk about 10,000 hours it would take for someone to master something. Well, you don't need 10,000 hours in digital marketing. No. I would say you just need a quick, really a deep focus, 20 hours.
Yeah, honestly.
To be proficient at something.
Honestly.
And when I say proficient, understand I didn't say master, just being proficient. Like you said, being able to talk about it in a job interview, being able to explain it in a way that's understandable. Because remember, 90% of the population don't understand digital marketing. You can quickly become the smartest person in the room by knowing a little bit of knowledge of digital marketing.
Oh, you made me think of something. And this is like a gem I want to drop to people. Like, so like you were saying, like how, a lot of people don't understand this stuff. So, that is something where you want to start off, as an entry level person, you want to work your way up to manager work and director and being in that VP. You have to be able to speak about this stuff in a way that anybody can understand. I'm pretty, like most companies you work at, you may never see your CEO. You may never, even see your manager. But at a lot of these jobs, you're working directly close with CEOs and VPs. And I can't tell you how many times I've had to explain SEO to him in a way that was a lot more simple. And just having that soft skill of being able to, talk about intricate things and very easy to understand is really, I will say, the key to scaling up. So, but regardless, even if you're going for those entry level jobs, you got to be able to talk about those things. And that only comes from practicing and, having those man hours and getting experience. So, that's something I just wanted to drop for the audience. Like, if you want to unlock that, you gotta know that thing.
Yeah, and let me counter that with something too, because this is something that I know I'm experimenting with now. We talked about AI before, and there's this thing called Chat GPT.
Yeah.
And it's a sweeping thing, so much so that now Google has its own version, and so
Bard,
is Bing. Okay. And so you can literally speak to this machine or this software, type something in and say, look, explain to me like I'm a 10-year-old child.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Explain to you like you're a 10-year-old child. And so what I'm saying is when you're in these meetings, okay, you can use that as a way to help explain what you're doing. Obviously not in real time. What you want to basically do is do it prior to the meeting.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you can do that.
Have your examples already prepared. So when you explain to people, because remember, your clients, they don't know.
Yeah.
The only thing they care about is the results. That's it.
Can
you bring us more business?
Yeah, that's it.
When things are moving with these reports, they want to know, okay, what do we need to improve upon? Where do we need to basically invest in to help us get the results that we're looking for? Obviously, SEO takes a little bit more time than paid media does. Paid media can be a little bit more instant if it's done right. But either way, they want to see results. And that's the bottom line. Right now, our company, our agency, one of our biggest clients, they're actually now going to put themselves back out there for another proposal. So they want to see what other agencies have to offer. I can tell you, we've done a really good job. So what I see happening from the SEO perspective, they may get rid of paid media and some other people, but they're not going to get rid of us because we've consistently given them great results in what we've set up for them. But they're always looking for value. They're looking for, we want to pay this amount and get this value. Who doesn't want to pay less and get great value? Everybody's looking for that.
That's it.
But for you, if you can help a company understand that what you're going to bring to the table is value, and you align with their mission, their principles, and things like that, you will get hired.
You will.
What typically happens is with people who are doing a job search, they go to like LinkedIn and they do the easy apply thing. And I'm not saying anything wrong with it. Continue to do that, but just understand at some point you're gonna get that interview and you're gonna need to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I would say to people, because you had mentioned 20 to 30 interviews, for some it's more, for some it's less.
Yeah, man. Really.
But let's just say for the sake of argument, it does take you 30 interviews to get that job. Okay. All right. Well, guess what? That's 30 opportunities for you to hone your skills. Because some of these interviews will ask you some of the same questions.
Yes.
And so it gives you opportunity
to
really practice what you want to say. Not to sound scripted, but to really understand, okay, this is what they mean when they say this question. And then when you don't get the job, what you want to do is you want to contact the person you had an interview with and say, listen, I'm still, learning things myself. What can I do better the next time around? Or why did you choose me? Sometimes it's simply because somebody got more experience than you. So they're not going to necessarily tell you. And then sometimes people are more gracious and they say to you, okay, this is what we wanted you to know more about.
Yeah.
You take that information. Let's say they want you to know more about HubSpot. You take that information, you go learn HubSpot on a Saturday.
That's it. Yeah.
That's what you do. And even if you don't want to learn it on a whole Saturday, you learn part of it on the first Saturday, and you do another part the next Saturday.
Yeah.
Self-mastery, or not even mastery, self-proficiency can come very quickly, like you said before. It doesn't take long at all. That's one thing I really want to emphasize in this chat that we're having. You don't need a lot of time to become proficient because most people don't know this stuff anyway.
Yeah,
they just don't.
Exactly.
And by the way, let me say this too. A lot of jobs that you find yourself on, like my company, we're a very big agency and they encourage us to learn things. Matter of fact, they've given us access.
No, really, they do.
LinkedIn Learning, I think it's called. And that's free for us. Yeah. So you just type in what you want to learn, find a course, spend like an hour. Because sometimes things are really slow at the agency. So that's the time you need to be building your skills up. Every week is a little bit different. The other thing I want to say too is, let's say you don't have access to LinkedIn Learning. You got Udemy. Go to Udemy I think last time I checked was $30 a month.
Yeah.
For $30 a month, you can have unlimited courses that you can learn. Some of the courses won't be available, but some will. You take that opportunity, go through an SEO course, go through a digital marketing course, and learn as much as you can. Or you buy the course for like 12, 13 bucks. You got a whole course teach you how to do something from beginner level to immediate level to the expert level. So, in my opinion, man, it doesn't take much for someone to really want to change your life. This is the first time, in my opinion, in history, a person can easily go from, let's say, making 30,000 to 60,000 to 100,000.
Yeah,
you don't have to be out there. You don't have to be out there driving Uber all day long and Lyft. You don't have to be out there delivering things. You can go from being a delivery person to being a bona fide digital marketer in a very short time. Honestly, and again, it's all about if you want something or not. That's what it really comes down to. So I say to people out there who's watching this, understand that the time is now. You can do this. You will have your setbacks, you have your failures, but everybody goes through that. And you'll have those moments when you first get your job and you're like, well, man, like I'll tell you my first experience. The first probably 6 weeks, I felt like a fraud. I felt like I shouldn't even been there. But then I had to remember they hired me for a reason. And I'm going to get better. Everybody's nervous when they first start. Everybody doesn't think that they're going.
And another thing, like a lot of the people that you're nervous about, they barely even know it. Like, I can't tell you how many times I work with people and you're like, you're telling them stuff and they're like, what's that? Like, huh? Like, I mean, it's everybody. Like, it's because there's no college class for this stuff. There's no unified ideology on how to learn this stuff or do this stuff. So And
even let's say for those of you out here who said, oh well, my college is offering this. Okay, fine, but here's the thing about college offering this. Colleges are notorious for being very slow about doing things. Okay, so that curriculum is not going to keep up with the changing times of digital marketing. It's too dynamic. Listen, we talked about this earlier. 3-4 months ago, nobody knew what ChatGPT was. Okay, now it's being used right now because I used it the other day in one of my assignments. It's used right now in digital marketing. So if you have a course curriculum, okay, it's probably not going to be something will be inserted because again, we know college universities, no shade against them, nothing like that, but they typically teach the same thing for 30, 40 years. Look at a field like psychology. They talk about the same stuff. If I were to enroll into a psychology 101 course, it's probably the same thing I learned back in 1997.
Yeah, more than likely.
So let's wrap it up because I think this was a really good interview. I wanted people to really get some real insight from what you're up to some job tips about how to get that job. Because again, I'm all about people changing their lives. And let me say this too, shout out to my passport bros. All people out there who decided, okay, I want a better situation for me, and they're leaving, let's say America, whatever country in, and moving to a different country. Hey, all for that, because at the end of the day, like Andrew Henderson says, go where you're treated best. But understand, in order for you to stay there, you're going to need something that's going to sustain you. And one of the best things I know of is, of course, to become a digital marketer. So if you're interested in my program, please look me up on Facebook. Go to Digital Marketing Career Starter. That's where I will be. So for those of you who are on YouTube, check out my YouTube channel, Money Travel Grow. And I want to go ahead and hand off to you, and I want you to tell them about your surprise, what you've been working on, how to get a hold of you, and how to take advantage of it, and why they should do it. So go ahead.
Yeah. So I guess I just want to kind of wrap it up. Just say thanks for having me on. I'm always excited to share my story. I think it's always great to hear from other people, just their experience. And, if I can shed that light on people and kind of, make them not worry as much, then, I'm happy to do that. But what I've been working on is I've been working on a book on search engine optimization. So it's called The ABCs of SEO. So it's really just about learning SEO in plain English, taking a very complex subject and breaking it down into pieces where, whether you're a 5-year-old or you're an 86-year-old, you can understand these topics and these complex, for no reason, complex subjects and be able to actually apply these. And, if you want to get a job with this information, you can do that. Or, maybe you're a business owner and you want to use this to help you grow your business, and you can do that. So the book is going to be coming out in March, right around March or April time. So it'll be on Amazon. I'll have it in bookstores. I'll let Tawan know all the details, and, be in the Facebook group or the email list if he has one. So, but yeah, you guys can purchase the book. It's going to be for a limited time offer, like at a certain price. So the price will go up over time. And I'm gonna be honest, it's not the cheapest book in the world, because again, it's really a robust book. And, kind of like you were talking about earlier, how like with colleges, how like, their content is outdated. Like the point of this book is this is supposed to be stuff that is still relevant and applicable, whether we're 30 years down the line or 50 years down the line. So I made sure to write the book from that perspective. So, all the information will be out. So if you guys want it, then, I'm looking forward to, having you guys check it out. But if you guys want to reach out to me, or, you just want tips, or, you want to just, see how SEO works or whatever, you guys can hit me up on LinkedIn. So Tawan, he can put the LinkedIn link in the description, or you can find me, or just look up Raj Clark. My name is Raji, but you can look up Raj and, I'll pop up. So yeah, yep.
And we'll make sure we put your information in the link below so that people can reach out to you if they have any more questions or anything like that. This was an absolute pleasure. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this follow-up interview. I think many people are going to benefit from this. I think that if you're someone out there who seriously is interested in getting digital marketing, the opportunity is now. Whether you utilize coaching services or not, I think it's something that you should consider doing, because there aren't really enough professionals out there.
I agree.
Shortage of professionals out there, and the market is only growing.
Yeah.
So I think that the other thing we didn't even get in talk about here, we even talk about the metaverse, right? That's
you had to have me off a third one.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll get you back. In a few more months, we'll have a whole conversation about that. But that's an opportunity that's waiting to explode right there. On the paid media side, I'm sure. I don't know how SEO is really going to work with this, but man, there are so many opportunities out there. But as far as what Raj is offering you, he's offering you really a shortcut. I'm offering you a shortcut because some of the things, some of the struggles that we had becoming digital marketers, you don't have to necessarily go through. We're trying to shorten the path for you, and the little bit amount of money that you're offering to pay for my coaching or his products is nothing compared to the time it's going to save you. See, because for me, I'm all about you saving time and to a greater extent money, because we're not asking you to go get a 4-year degree and then do a master's degree so you can make the kind of money. We want you to have a full life. We want you to enjoy yourself. So again, for those of you who definitely want to travel abroad and live abroad, it's possible, because I'm doing it right now. It's the same thing, but just make your plan now. This is 2023. I think you and I have been talking about this really since 2021.
Yeah,
the time is now. The time is now. If you haven't already started, the time is now, and you can absolutely do it. You just have to be a little bit disciplined, a little bit focused, break it down. There's a saying that we say, how do you eat an elephant? You eat it one bite at a time. Yes, it's vast, this is huge, but it can be broken down to understandable and digestible chunks. And so I agree with that. I'll leave you with that. And please, again, visit me on my Facebook group. It's Digital Marketing Career Starter. If you're seeing this on that Facebook channel or Facebook group, you can go to Money Travel Grow. And of course, you go visit Raj on LinkedIn. His link will be below in the description, and he'll become our book. Please support him, because believe you me, the little bit of knowledge, the great amount of knowledge he's giving you for the little bit of price he's charging you is worth it. So don't ever be afraid to invest yourself, because when you invest yourself, you invest your future.
That's right.
life that you want to have. So with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Thanks again for viewing, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care,
Thank you.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye.